Hello friends and welcome, I'm Morjax and this is Let's Play Mordheim City of the Damned. In a recent update they introduced the camp screens, or the hideout screen I suppose this is, so yet to be implemented are things including the shop, the smuggler's den, player progression, and campaign. Right now we have the skirmish available, which was available before, but now we have this shiny screen to access it, and management for your warband. So I went ahead and grabbed a Sisters of Sigmar warband. This is one of the new warbands in the update, and I took the liberty of putting all of these sisters into ridiculously unnecessary, well, not unnecessary, but basically I decked out everyone in heavy armor, if I could. So you can see here it reduces your climb chance, leap chance, jump down chance, spell casting, and dodge chance. So it just makes you less mobile overall. There's also light armor and clothing available. And I also put everyone into helmets here, which is minus 10% spellcasting, plus 15% crit resistance, minus 15% perception. And it looks to me, I was digging through the options, it does not appear that there are any ranged units in Sisters of Sigmar, so that's kind of interesting. And I did not know this before, but their impressive unit is the Maiden of Sigmar here, so I don't know quite what she does, but she looks pretty scary. And one of her weapons, I think it may be unique to her, is this Great Flail. So the Great Flail has, it says plus 4 bypass armor, which is, from what I can tell, it's just armor piercing, so 4 points of armor are ignored. Flail has 2 armor piercing. Great Hammer is a plus 30% crit chance, but the victim receives a plus 15% bonus to dodge, so a little more likely to dodge, but a little more likely to hit hard. Sigmarite Warhammer is plus 5 crit and minus 5 dodge chance, which is, I don't know. I think that's strictly better. This is a two-hander. Looks like tiring increased the cost of combat and action skill by 1 OP, whereas this does not. So this seems pretty good to me, and I think rightfully so. It should be, since it's unique to the Sisters of Sigmar. Mace is a plus 3% melee hit chance. Hammer is a plus 15% crit bonus. Let me see. 15 to 21 damage, 19 to 21 damage. But this is average speed, and that's slow speed, so it's kind of an interesting, different flavor to use the Sigmarite Warhammer versus just the hammer. And of course, the dagger ignores parry attacks, so attacks cannot be parried, and that's yet to be implemented. It says coming soon there. And ignore dodge, attacks cannot be dodged. So it seems like it's kind of a way to ignore. Basically, you're guaranteed a hit, but it's a very low amount of damage, and maybe not guaranteed to hit is not the right word. I think you can still miss, they just can't parry or dodge. So anyway, hello friends, Morjax here with a look at the Skaven Warband management screen. So let's jump right in here. One of the Skaven specific items is, of course, Weeping Blades. So Weeping Blades are you have one in each hand. They allow the use of parrying stance. They are intrinsically poisoned, which is not implemented yet, and they count as a two-handed weapon. So they cost 1 extra OP. Another a weapon unique to Skaven is the Warplock pistol here. It's a short range, so 15 meters, slow, and a long reload costs 1 extra SP. It looks like it takes wyrdstone ammo, which I'm assuming has some kind of poison or festering capacity, and that's yet to be implemented. And the flintlock, or because it's black powder, it costs an extra OP to use it. So it's sort of a trade-off for being a more powerful weapon than just a bow. And another weapon unique to the Skaven is the Fighting Claws here. So they're very fast, and they, like a dagger, the attacks cannot be parried. And they also have 4% piercing, armor piercing, or I'm sorry, 4 points of armor piercing, and a plus 10% climb chance, so a little bit better at getting around. And on the tabletop, when I used to play it, climb never really used to be an issue. We would just take the stairs because there was almost always stairs available. But in the PC version here, it seems to be that climbing is a very real part of the map. There's some places where you can only get to by climbing. So let's see what else we have here. I went ahead and put all of my guys into helmets here. Kind of seems to me like, why wouldn't you? I didn't put my spellcaster in because it's a minus 10% spellcasting. But so you lose some perception. I guess if you do a lot of perception, you wouldn't necessarily want it on everyone. And plus to crit resistance, which I think is a plus in my book, and 1 extra armor, which is also a benefit there. So your rat ogre is equipped with bracers, and that's the only thing he can equip there. You can basically strip him down to nothing. I'm glad that the icon doesn't change to show off his rat ogre junk. And you can put a pendant on him, but not a helmet, so he gets plus 3% to all alone checks, which isn't great, but there's nothing else to put on there. And at this phase of the game, you sort of have a predetermined inventory, so you're not really losing anything to use all the items you have. So let's see what this guy's weapon is here. Halberd cannot be parried and cannot be dodged. So that's similar to the... Oh, I'm sorry, I had the dagger selected. Derp. I was going to say, that's just like the dagger. So, it allows you to use the parry stance, and it gives you a critical damage bonus. So this is kind of a hard-hitting melee weapon, but you can only use... oh, I see, he's using it with the shield there. So then this is the... No, that was a halberd. Man, I'm all confused. So the spear is what he has with the shield there. Can't be parried, can't be dodged, and can only be used with a shield. Cannot be dual wielded. I'm sorry. Yeah, it can only be used with a shield. So you can't use it. You can't have a one-handed without a shield equipped there. So it's kind of like a dumbed-down version of the halberd there. So pretty interesting. I'd like to see how they implement the poisons. I remember that Skaven had easier access to poisons and things like that. So we'll soon find out as they roll out future phases of the early access, but thank you for joining me, and tune in for the human warband management. Alright friends, here we are at the Human Mercenaries warband management page. So our leader is currently equipped with dueling pistols, which, if I can select them here, are unique in that they're very fast, and I think they have the same short range. Let's see here. So yes, handguns are very slow, so the dueling pistols are faster, but a little bit closer range. And then we also have access to a pistol, which is the close range, better crit chance, but it is also slower, so it's kind of spans the gap between the two. And as far as I know, the captain is the only one who has access to the dueling pistol here. So let's keep moving on. The warlock here has a staff, which I believe is unique to the warlock. It allows the use of parrying stance. It is a two-hander, so it costs 1 extra OP to use, and minus 3%. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'll take a stab. It's Zinch, Curse Chance, which is basically it's a critical fail. You roll a 1 on your spell, and things go bad. So he can also equip a bow and a longbow. We're going to give him a longbow here. And I gave him, again, the pendant instead of the helmet, so it didn't hamper his spell casting. And we've got 3 marksmen in the back here. The marksmen have access to the bow, as well as the... Let me show you that quick. The bow is an average distance, so 20 meters, and 6% ranged hit chance, so a little bit better chance to hit. The longbow is 25 meters, a little bit slower, but you get a plus 30 crit chance. Crit damage bonus, I'm sorry, not crit chance. The hunting rifle also has a 30% crit bonus, but it does more damage, so instead of 11 to 21, you're talking 24 to 27, so it's a pretty tight range too. It does cost 2 SP to reload, and an action does cost 1. And it's slower than the longbow. It's -10, very slow, but the range is incredible. It's 30. Let's see here. And then again, we've got the pistol here, which gives you a better crit chance with a short range. A handgun is a slightly longer range, slightly slower. I think it's more damage too. This is 24 to 39. This is 30 to 45. And this has armor piercing 4 on the handgun. And they also have access to a crossbow, which is a long reload. It increases reload cost by 1 SP. It's got 4 armor piercing, which is kind of incredible to me that a crossbow and a handgun have the same amount of piercing. Just sort of like gut check, but okay, fine. I think the main bonus this gives over the handgun is that it has a longer range, and it is at a little bit lower damage. So I remember in the tabletop how extremely rare the rifles were, and they're probably not as overpowered in this case, but I want my marksman with rifles, so I gave him all 3 rifles. And then the warriors here, I gave a bow instead of a crossbow, and I think that should help a little bit. Let's look at the 2 here. Crossbow is costs an extra to reload, and it's got piercing, versus this does not cost extra, and you lose 4 damage on the low end, 10 to 18 versus 14 to 18, and then a little better chance to hit. So I kind of feel like a bow is a nice all-around ranged weapon. It seems like the human mercenaries are a bit more flavorful on ranged weapons, and I like that actually. I think that's pretty good. So this is our champion here. He's a beast with the great axe, and I'm pretty happy with how he plays actually. So I did equip a helmet, and I decided I wanted to leave that great axe on there. It's got armor piercing and plus 15% dodge chance, so they have a better chance to dodge. Let's just take a look here. Great axe is armor piercing and plus to dodge chance, like I said. Great hammer is a critical bonus instead. So and then great sword is crit chance. So you could get armor piercing, you could get crit damage, or you could get crit chance. You know, I think I actually might switch to crit chance. I kind of like that. I'm going to use a 2-hander. So just when I said I didn't decide to change him, I did, in fact. And this guy's got this greatsword equipped as well. I think I'm going to keep that. I kind of like how that works. Let's see here. I think I want to get this guy with... I could give him a great axe, so he's either... in general has a better crit chance, but then against well-armored opponents you can do better armor bypass. So I kind of like that. I wonder if I should do that on this guy too. Whatever, I almost never switched off the... well, what the heck. I'm wishy-washy, but the great weapons are all a little bit different flavor here. And then let's go ahead and look at the ogre. Oh, he's got that Fu Manchu mustache though. He has a great hammer, which is the critical damage bonus with extra dodge chance, and he can also get, I don't think I ever tried, or maybe you couldn't before, switch weapons, but the axe gives an armor bypass and the sword gives a crit chance. So mace is better hit chance. I think, honestly, I think I like maces. Gets a better hit chance. So I don't know. This was just my experience, but on the tabletop version, it it's generally better to have more units on the table and a better chance to hit than trying to hit really hard and sort of tossing the dice, so to speak. Give him a helmet, and I think that's about it. That's a pretty good overview of the Human Mercenaries Warband management, and I'll certainly be updating as more content becomes available. Thank you very much for watching, friends. If you enjoyed this, leave me a like, leave me a comment. I love to hear from you, and we will see you next time on Let's Play Mordheim, City of the Damned.